Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another League of Legends commentary here by Insigma Theory. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we're going to check this out. Currently, I'm spectating a game where we have a Shinshin top lane as Udyr. Dan is going to be jungling with that Amumu, a pretty brightly colored Amumu. We've got a Janna being played by Rume as support. Godless is playing Tristana as AD carry. And last but not least, we have Dr. Waltz playing AP mid Cho'Gath. On the purple side, we are going to see Claky D playing Kha'Zix jungle, Cruiser the Bruiser playing Lee Sin top lane, Chu8 is going to be playing the AD carry Salse, Wonderful Man going to be playing Katarina mid, and Kasin playing the Sona support. So it looks like blue team is going for an invade on that red buff. They are headed up towards there into that bush. Now, red team is in this bush. I don't know if they've spotted it just yet. We are going to see this come in. Blue team coming down from that top side. Right here into it. Cho'Gath knocking those people up. Claykity getting caught out and Claykity getting taken down. That's first blood. Cruiser the Bruiser flashing over that wall. Miraculously making out of that one alive. But it looks like blue team going to come out of this one pretty well. It looks like Hashinshin got that first blood as that Udyr, which is going to give him a huge lane advantage over Lee Sin. Already, Udyr does some pretty great things against the Lee Sin in lane, just by standard. But it looks like Mandan starting alone at the Wolves. Here comes Dr. Waltz coming up behind it to give him some little help here. Purple side, as they were kind of late into that, they are just going to go straight for that blue buff, as he would not be able to get through the wolves and then into blue buff in time. Kasin and Chu8 getting him a really hard leash. Actually, he's not using smite on it, so Claky D might be going in for an invade really quickly as soon as he clears out that blue buff. In mid lane, Cho'Gath versus Katarina. Looks like Cho'Gath is going to be able to knock up Katarina as well as silence her out of that ult. So it's a very good counter pick on top of that. Looks like Cruiser the Bruiser top, trying to stay safe against Shinshin. Shinshin did start off getting an extra potion, a ward, and a cloth armor. So he does have quite the lead. And right now it looks like Cho'Gath and Katarina just kind of trading some damage, making sure to last hit while they do it, and just being generally annoying in lane. Looks like Godless right now, using that 5 CS. Chu8 has 6, so bot lane is going pretty standard, just kind of trading back and forth. Now, Clicky D did get a smiteless leash, so he's going to be able to clear this red buff pretty quickly. He's still behind Amumu just from that first blood getting given up, but not by far, as he is able to do that smite on red buff and come top pretty quickly. Hashinshin is level 3. Cruiser Bruiser pinging it down, slowing Hashinshin. Claky D coming in for a gank. Hashinshin's really low. Is he going to make it out? Claky D takes the kill, giving back some lane control to Lee Sin, helping him through this game. Salsi right now at 15 CS. And it looks like Cho'Gath at 17. Middle lane is pretty even so far. 2-8 right now, taking quite a bit of harass from Tristana. Janna even playing very aggressively, shielding herself up so she can do some damage to the AD carry, and 2-8's just going to have to back up and give up some CS to make sure that he stays alive. So 15 CS on Corki to 18 on Tristana. Looks like Salsa getting ganked from Mandan. Both of them flashing down. Claky coming up from behind. Salsa did go down. Oh boy, there's that. Claky D might be able to take Mandan down. Dandan dies, and Dr. Waltz comes out on top of that with a kill and an assist. That camera control was a little bit wonky there. I do apologize for that. I'm still not used to this middle control. But anyways, as we see it, bot lane is pushed up to the purple side. Tristana is very slightly ahead in CS by 1, but it looks like Chu8 is going to be able to catch up, and it's going to be quite even here at bottom lane. Now, normally Sona would be able to poke out the enemy AD carry with that sort of Q, power chord Q with a lot of damage. Looks like Cruiser and Hashinshin just trying to trade here at top. And Cruiser has to back up. He really only has that Doran's Blade for damage, but Hashinshin has his Ninja Tabi, taking very much reduced damage from that Lee Sin, showing how just really resilient and tanky that Udyr top lane is. It's just fantastically, really just a great laning champion, especially against Lee Sin, where you can just sort of trade and constantly do damage. But it looks like Klakidi coming in for a gank, leaping over to the wall. Hashinshin putting a ward down in that tri-bush. Is Cruiser going to make it up? Cruiser actually hits the Q, but he turns back around, so he isn't able to kick to him. And there it is, Klakidi forcing him out of lane, trying to give some control back to Lee Sin. Bot lane right now is still pretty solid. Nothing is really going on other than Tristana just naturally pushing with that E passive. And they're both just farming away. Corki at 33 CS, Tristana at 40, so it looks like blue team getting a bit of an advantage there. Dr. Waltz with that double buff mid, making a lot of use out of it, spamming his spells to try to harass Salsi down and keep him from last hitting. Now, Salsi could walk up to last hit, but he's got to be really careful as those Vorpal spikes and that Feral Scream does quite a bit of damage from Cho'Gath. Dandan just continuing to farm quite a bit. Klakidi coming in for a gank at mid lane. Here he comes into it. Salsi and Klakidi jumping in. A nice knock up here from Cho'Gath, keeping things down, not able to flash away, and there goes Dandan missing that bandage sauce into it. Klakidi takes down Cho'Gath, and both of them still working down at this Amumu. Is Dandan going to be able to make it out? Klakidi flashes away. Salsi running into the bush. He might be able to juke right out of it. There it goes. Salsi coming in from the bottom, juking out of it. And he might be able to Shunpo back. And there it is. They both make it out to safety. Now, Klakidi did burn a flash for that. But they both did make it safely out with a kill on Cho'Gath, getting rid of that double buff as well, putting it back onto the Kazakhs. Cruiser right now pushing to the top, trying to trade as well as last hit as much as he possibly can. Takes a turret shot there, backs out right out of it. Bot lane, we do see Chu8 on that AD carry at 48 CS. Tristana at 53. Neither really have had time to back and spend their gold. They do have quite a bit of it. Dandan taking his blue buff. It looks like he may or may not give it to the Cho'Gath. It would be very useful on both champions. Dandan probably a little bit more likely, as Cho'Gath isn't really one of those really aggressive types and uses a lot of spells. He's just going to spend his time farming and last hitting, using that passive. Again, could be happening bot lane. Both of them taking damage, trying to bait that damage a little bit out. But it looks like blue team is going to be able to get out of this very easily. Klakidi is going to have to back out of this gank. Right now, Salsa getting pushed up by Cho'Gath, and Mumu coming in from the side. Klakidi is back in that bush at the bottom, but there is a ward there to spot this. Mumu just going to turn to counter jungling up top. And Cruiser the Bruiser right now trying to force Udyr out of lane. Udyr right now has a Ninja Tabi and a Health Crystal, whereas Cruiser has 2 Doran's Blades, so he does have quite a bit of damage. Now, there is no wards in this top jungle, so Amumu is taking out that red buff right now. Lee Sin right now trading really heavily towards the Shinshin, using a lot of that damage from those 2 Doran's Blades to just take him out, constantly pressure him in lane, and do quite a bit there. So it looks like Dandan did take that red buff. He is headed towards top. Kazakhs is going to see this. Cho'Gath heading up right now. We could see a 3-person converge here. And there it is. Kazakhs running into Cho'Gath inside that blue buff. He's just going to leap right over, ward his red buff, and stay safe. Cruiser here, though, might get caught out by that Amumu. It looks like he's turned around as soon as he sees it. Going to run down the river towards his team. The Shinshin getting stuck at that turret right now, just farming some health back up. Cruiser kicking in to Amumu. Amumu ults right now on Flaky and Cruiser. Cruiser backing out of that fight right now. Flaky D just running down onto Mandin. Cruiser is a little bit low, but he gets back into the fight, ults and kicks onto his Shinshin. Salsa taking out Amumu, and on top of that, all of them jumping in on top of Cho'Gath. Looks like they made that trade quite well. All 3 of them came out alive and with a kill, it looks like it. So right now, Sona had to back out of that lane, but it looks like Corki came back with a Phage and a Doran's Blade. Tristana, though, has not had the chance to back yet. She does have 79 CS to the 65 from Corki, and here comes Tristana backing. There was a ward that just went down in that bush, but it looks like they're both just going to put some pressure on it, keep him there, and 2-8 is just going to keep farming. So right now, Kazik's pushing mid before he's about to back out. By the time Katarina gets here, it should be pushed and then possibly reset as the wave is right behind her. It depends on how fast this turret kills those minions. This Shishin just returning to top. He now has that Heart of Gold. Going to be able to keep him in this game up to Lee Sin. And there's a lot of damage coming out from Cho'Gath. He's just harassing this Katarina down. But Katarina right now does have that lane control with double buff, as she could just pop in and out and do quite a bit of damage to Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath having that Rod of Ages almost complete, has the 2 items for it, but he still has level 1 boosts, and we do have a Hex Tech Revolver in from Katarina with the level 2 boots. Hushin and Cruiser right now just trading hits back and forth. It looks like 62 CS from Lee Sin and 55 from Udyr. They're both just trying to kick each other out. Lee Sin missed his Q, but did hit his R back into the turret. Shinshin was just slightly out of range of the turret, though. Right now, purple team 14.5 gold and blue team 14. So this is a pretty even game. Purple team is ahead just a little bit, 3 kills and 600 gold at that point. Sona right now putting a pink ward down in the river, taking out that blue ward, the green ward here from Janna. Clickety coming down for a gank. This is very well timed at this point. Janna is getting back into the bush. Here comes Kha'Zix taking a sight of it. There he is, just doing some damage to Janna. It looks like they're both going to back out, just sort of win that trade and keep it safe. But it looks like right now at mid, Dr. Waltz and Dan setting up for a gank on the Katarina. She's playing it really aggressively at this point. Clickety coming in from behind. It's also taking a ton of damage from all of that CC. Just look at that chain. The ult from Moo, the knockup from Cho'Gath, taking so much damage all the while. Right now, Clickety doing some damage to Cho'Gath. Looks like he might be able to... Oh, looks like Clickety getting taken out. Cho'Gath makes it out alive. And Cruiser taking that turret top lane, just sort of bullying Hashinshin out of lane. Now, Udyr is very famous for the amount of sustain he does, but once you build armor and you build health, that Tiger stance sort of loses all that power from it. And Cruiser was just able to out-harass that and stay alive. Dan going back to jungling bot lane. Let's take a look at what's going on. Corki at 98 CS, Tristana to 101. It looks like Tristana is actually going for the Zeal before she gets any sort of big damage item, whereas Corki does get that phage and then goes back into that dagger for his level 2 boost. The Berserker's Greaves. Cruiser just taking a look at that blue buff. He is staying, and there it is. Dr. Waltz using that ult to make sure he gets that blue buff and gets through it pretty quickly. Salse pushing mid lane really hard as he was able to make sure that Cho'Gath was at that blue buff. Clickety taking his own blue buff as Katarina does not need the mana, whereas Clickety will use both of those. Looks like a ward being pinged into that bush. They both know it. They may not see this coming. Now, none of these bushes are warded. Cho'Gath is coming down as well. Salsa's headed back towards mid. Sona might get caught out of hand, but she did see Cho'Gath in that bush. Now, that pink ward was taken out really quickly, but he was able to see that. Kha'Zix was just waiting in the midst here for this gank. And it looks like there it is. Janna might get caught out of hand. Flash in from Kasin. Ult. Clickety gets the kill. Tristana jumping away. Looks like that stealth giving some of that reduced damage, but Clickety taking a lot of turret hits. Mumu comes in from the side. Maybe he can pick something else out of it. Now there is that ward to see them get away. Both of these are being able to be seen. Salsa was headed down for some security, but it looks like 3 people here, the Tristana, the Cho'Gath, and the Mumu coming in. 2-8 might get caught out, but it looks like they're headed back up towards the river. Clickety makes it over the wall. Sona is actually getting caught here by Dan, and there it is. Cho'Gath taking out Sona with that silence. Tristana jumping into Salse. Salse ults. Tristana flashes away, but it was not able to make it as that Shunpo was able to get her into it. 2-8 and Clickety taking a lot of damage. That ult's finally coming in from a Mumu. Cho'Gath's ult is once again up. Doing a lot of damage there to Kha'Zix, taking him down. Salsa and 2-8 trying to make it out alive into mid. And there's the rupture from Cho'Gath, taking out 2-8 as well. Salsa looks like he's going to make it back safely, but that was a pretty bad trade, sort of giving the blue team their advantage back to 20,000 20,400 from blue team, whereas 20,100 from purple team. Purple team right now is up 1 tower. No dragons have been taken at this point. Clickety is just respawned. It looks like Cruiser is going to back out from this. Hashinshin now with that Giant's Belt and the chain vest on Udyr might be building that Sunfire for some split pushing, or might just be getting the armor to deal with Lee Sin. We'll see where he takes it from that. Cho'Gath now finally finished that Rod of Ages. Still has level 1 boots, so he is pretty slow compared to all of them. A nice knock-up here from Cho'Gath, doing a ton of damage to Salsi. Looks like he's just going to have to back out of this. You actually don't pick Cho'Gath to do sort of that huge, just a lot of harass damage, just big chunk damage. You pick Cho'Gath to make sure that you can sustain in lane, do some damage while you're at it, but just basically bully the other person out of lane. Cruiser trading a lot of hits right now with Udyr. Ults him away and then Q's right to him. Plaguey coming in from behind, making sure he's using as much capability of that ult as he can. Cruiser coming in with that Q. Looks like he takes it down. Cruiser getting the kill on Hashinshin with the Kha'Zix assist. Kha'Zix is going to back out now as he has no mana. Looks like Tristana at bot lane has 124 CS. She does get that BF sword before she starts that Zeal, whereas Corki now has his Sheen finished as well as the Phage. Janna taking a lot of damage. She does have to back out. Here comes his Sona ult. The Janna ult knocks them back at the same time. Tristana ult knocks back Sona, but it looks like Shu8 was able to ult and kill off that Janna at the same time. Dan was coming down, but they did see that and back out, as they were actually able to stay safe. Just take the small trade and keep going. So right now, Dan is invading in the jungle, popping a ward down. They are trying to get a gank off on Salsi. Whereas Cruiser is top lane doing quite a bit of harass damage to that turret. He wants to keep them forced, and he wants to keep that Udyr here. Whereas if Udyr was roaming, that they might be able to get some teamworks and team kills into it. Amumu now has finished his Sunfire Cape. He does have those 2 gold per 10 items, but he still only has that level 1 boost, so he is really slow. Looks like PlayKD coming in for a gank at this point. Now, both junglers are here at mid lane, and they want to make something happen, but neither of them can really do anything just yet. Plankedy running in, leaping into it, Cho'Gath pulling him in with that silence and that knock-up. Amumu was able to ult and keep Kha'Zix under his control. Salsi going to have to make it out of here alive. It looks like there goes a rupture. Salsi flashing out of that rupture. He's going to make it out alive against these two. Cho'Gath did end up taking that Ninja Tabby, whereas Salsi does have that Sorceress Shoes for the extra magic bend. He did take a Negatron Cloak as he is going to build the Abyssal Scepter. Lower magic resist and just a lot of AP is just becoming very, very huge in today's games. Cruiser putting a lot of pressure on top, making it into the jungle and just sort of just trying to harass and bully Udyr out of lane. He does pop back into lane, just kind of trading some hits. Looks like he's doing quite a bit of damage. But Shinshin, though, turtle mode, shielding some of that damage and keeping him with that lifesteal. But it looks like Udyr actually would have come out on top of that fight. Lee Sin's going to kick him away. Just sort of diffuse the situation. Dan right now taking out blue buff. Looks like he wants to take it and keep it from Cho'Gath, as he might be able to use that mana regen a little bit more. Cho'Gath just doing some playful laughs. Claykey right now taking out Dragon. Looks like they are starting Dragon pretty alone. Now, Chu8 is not here to help this down, but right now, Salsi might be getting caught mid lane. Shunpo's back to Amumu, goes back into his turret. Now, they're both extremely tanky. A missed rupture there from Cho'Gath, and it looks like Salsi is going to make it out of this one alive. She's very squishy. The two of them do huge damage. Blue team was actually, oh my god, I actually have to back this up right now. Alright, so it looks like here comes the dragon. Right now, Salsi is getting ganked by Amumu. And Cho'Gath mid lane, Claykey backing out of this, but as soon as they see the two of them not coming down, still going for Katarina at this point, Corki is not at the bottom, so it's just Claykey doing the damage. And here it goes. He misses the smite, and Janna actually takes down the dragon with that whirlwind. A nice dragon steal at this point. Lee Sin still pressuring top really, really hard. Shinshin with that Sunfire Cape coming down for a gank onto Katarina, taking quite a bit of damage from those two turrets. Salsa doing work with that Ignite, popping in with that ult and Shunpo. And right now, Dan coming in to do some damage with this W. And there it is, Shalsey taking out that Cho'Gath. Dan still alive. Kha'Zix did get taken down by a movement, but oh my god, Dan with that huge ult, and then the Q onto Corki, keeping him alive, giving him a kill. Salsa using the ward, Shunpo hop, getting into this blue, and there it is, a nice, the nice dagger onto Dan. Dan bandage tossing to those minions, and there goes the Soda ult. Cruiser being able to take down Dan. Salsa getting a nice ult. Janna getting taken down as well, but there goes Salsa at this point. Godless coming up with that Tristana. Both of these are really low, and Tristana does have quite a bit of damage. She almost has her Zeal completed. There she is, hopping over the wall. Cruiser actually popping back into this, using that attack speed slow. It looks like Tristana is actually going to flash back over that wall. Now, this turret is still alive, so she has some form of safety. And there it is, Cruiser popping in a ward, Wing to it, and then hitting Tristana, getting to safety. Wow, holy cow, that engagement was just massive. Both teams back and forth, doing as much as they possibly could. Looks like Cruiser at this point has built a Zeal and a Phage. Looks like he's going for that early Triforce for Lee Sin, doing quite a bit of damage with it. Sona at this point headed down towards bottom, keeping Chu8 safe. Chu8 right now does have his Triforce finished. He has 166 CS. He did get his lane sort of back in order. Whereas Tristana right now finally finished her Zeal, and then she went into the Cloak of Agility. She's going to be building the Infinity Edge. Chu8 taking down that turret, farming the jungle as well. Janna coming down. Now, they do not have vision of this, but Janna must have seen Corki taking down those minions. And it looks like Cho'Gath right now doing some work on Salsa, trying to set up for a gank. Shinshin wasn't able to catch up, but he does have that Wit's End, or the recurve bow now, building up for a Wit's End, sort of stack up that magic damage and get more out of himself. Claykey jumping over a wall, getting to his wolves that much faster. Dan setting up mid lane for a gank. Cho'Gath using that laugh taunt, trying to get Salsa to do some work. Salsa does have a Haunting Guise, as well as a Negatron Cloak, so she does have that magic penetration, but oh my goodness, that miss by Cho'Gath's Rupture. Salsa was able to dodge that, keeping himself alive. Dan was able to set up for the bandage toss into it, but it looks like Salsa was able to get out of that Rupture long enough to miss the bandage toss. So right now, it looks like all 5 members of Purple Team were headed towards mid. Lee Sin heading back towards top, trying to bully Hashinshin out of lane. Might be able to catch him off guard. All of them are set up mid lane for this. Cruiser kicks Udyr back into the lane, just trying to trade some damage. All of them setting up at mid, trying to do something all the while. Right now, Cruiser's doing really huge work on Udyr. Looks like Udyr might go down, but Cruiser is pretty low as well. Q hits that final finishing move onto Udyr, and it looks like Lee Sin is just going to continue to push top, put some pressure on it. If blue team does not respond and send anyone top, he'll just easily take that turret and possibly that inhibitor, maybe before Udyr spawns. He is 20 seconds from it. Dan popping that Shirelli is trying to run into the team, catching the Sona. Sona does have Oracles right now, so this is a huge loss for them. Cho'Gath taking the ult on Sona. Sona going down with Oracles. Dan hitting onto Chu8 right now. Chu8's cleansing out of this. Salsa ulting in the middle of both of them. But they both have a lot of magic resist and a lot of health, so this wasn't that much. Cho'Gath might make it out with just a little bit of health. Does Rupture right behind him, trying to keep himself alive. An epic Janna ult saving the Cho'Gath and sort of setting up the Katarina to get ganked by Dan. Dan coming back in for it. Flash there by Salsa, trying to keep him out of it. Dan actually goes down in all of this. And Cruiser took down that top turret and that inhibitor while all of that was going down, made it out of that alive. Purple team right now is just set up. Claykey getting taken down by Tristana and Cho'Gath at this point. This game is just action-packed and epic. Cruiser right now taking down that blue buff, sort of keeping it from Amumu. let's sort of take stock right now. 17 kills for purple side with 36,000 gold, 500 or 600 at this point. 14 kills for blue side with 35,600 gold. So it's a pretty even, a pretty close game at this point in terms of money and usefulness here. But it looks like top lane getting taken down by Lee Sin was just a huge pressure there from purple team. Now they're always going to pretty much have somebody on this side pushing up and keeping it forward, trying to stay safe out of it. Cruiser just trying to bully him out of lane, using a little bit of that damage. Sona coming up behind for a gank. Udyr has no idea about this. There it is, Lee Sin getting caught off. Exhaust going down on Udyr, stun going out on top of him. Cruiser doing tons of damage, kicking on to Udyr, kicking him away, but this actually might save Udyr, and Udyr makes it out alive with a flash over the wall, and the rest of his team coming up behind to make sure it's safe for him for a getaway. So right now, Corky with 196 CS has that Trinity Force working towards either an Infinity Edge or a Last Whisper. It looks like probably an Infinity Edge. He just wants raw damage coming out of it. Salsi might be setting up for a gank here. Flash and an ult from Dan Din, but Salsi shun-poing back from a minion, canceling that entire thing out. Purple team did get dragon while this whole entire thing was going down. Top lane now really pushing hard. Udyr now is a permanent top lane resident. You can't really leave this lane at all. Otherwise, just all of those will do so much damage. Janna actually getting caught out here by Lee Sin and Salsi. Salsi taking him down as well. Purple team is just really far ahead at this point with 4 turrets, a ton of gold. Looks like 1.4 thousand gold ahead. Claykey actually taking down Tristana at this point at the bottom, taking a couple of turret hits, but he's able to get out of there alive. Dan Din queuing on to Chu 8. And it looks like neither of them really wanted to engage on this one. They just kind of wanted to apply some of that pressure back at them, kind of telling them, hey, this isn't a free game from us. We're going to do everything we can to keep you back into this. Lee Sin right now taking the red buff. Chu 8 sort of going through the top jungle, trying to get as much money as he can. Udyr popping in, using that bear stun on Sona. Sona might actually lose another Oracle, but there comes Cruiser coming down. Help his team out. Sona makes it out alive. Salze ulting and then shun-poing back, dodging that ult from, dodging the Q from Amumu. But there goes Cho'Gath ulting on Salze, taking him down. Cruiser coming in from behind. Sona ulting both of them. Cruiser's taking a lot of turret hits right now. That Janna ult keeping Cho'Gath alive. Cruiser actually gets taken down by Tristana. Oh no, actually, Cruiser, there goes. Cruiser finally gets taken down by that Tristana. And Chu 8 and Sona are going to make it out alive. So Sona still has her oracles at this point. 21 kills on purple side to 16 kills on the blue side. 4 turrets for purple, whereas no turrets have been taken from blue. And there goes Tristana actually popping in. Might be able to take down Sona. She jumps away. Claykey right behind her with a jump. There goes an ult down on Kha'Zix. And Chu 8 picks up the kill on Tristana. And here we are back at mid lane. Keeping the farm, so it looks like Cruiser the Bruiser right now with 6 kills, 1 death, and 6 assists. Kha'Zix with 5 kills, 7 deaths, but a whopping 8 assists at this point. Chu 8 having 4 kills, 2 deaths, and 3 assists right now. Salsi clocking in at 7 kills, 4 deaths, and 7 assists. He did actually get that Abyssal Scepter, the Deathfire Grasp, so he does quite a bit of damage. And Kasin whopping 2 deaths and 8 assists at this point. Hishinshin bare-moding it up at mid lane, doing quite a bit of damage to Salsi, but it looks like Salsi is going to make it out alive from that rupture. He's just trying to harass as much as he possibly can, trying to heal back from that. There goes Lee Sin popping into this mid lane, dodging the rupture, but it looks like taking a lot of damage from that screaming shout. And here goes Udyr trying to catch somebody off guard. Tristana right now stuck at that top lane, trying to keep those minions from that. Dan Din actually flashing in, ulting, but missing both his Q and his ult. Looks like Cruiser might actually make it out alive from that one, kicking Dr. Waltz back, actually knocking up Udyr, and there goes all of them getting taken down at this point. Looks like Chu 8 taking down both Amumu and Udyr. Salsi making out of that one alive. Was with a double kill as well, as he did finish off that Cho'Gath and that Janna. Looks like they're going to continue pushing mid lane. Top lane is pushing with those super minions, but that inhibitor has respawned, so if Tristana can make it there, she might be able to keep it back alive. But it looks like they are going to lose this mid turret as well. Chewy and Sona actually putting quite a bit of pressure here, going to be able to take out this inhibitor. Salsi taking down that mid lane turret, and it looks like 15 seconds before everyone from blue side is back up. Tristana just trying to take out as much as she can, losing that inhibitor in the process, and red team here going to be invading and taking that blue. So right now we see Tristana with 3 kills, 4 deaths, and 2 assists. Cho'Gath right now with 7 kills, 4 deaths, and 9 assists. Udyr at this point with 2 kills, 7 deaths, and 4 assists. And Amumu here with 6 kills, 6 deaths, and 11 assists at this point. Sort of taking stock. Purple team is just really, really far ahead at this point. They do have one of the dragons. The other dragon was stolen by Janna. But they do have 6 turrets and quite a bit more kills, 8 more kills at this point. So there's a 4,000 gold lead here on the purple side. Claykey taking out that blue buff, using that mana regen and the CDR. But oh no, Salsa actually walking into the bush, getting knocked up in silence. But looks like he is able to flash over the edge. Mandan flashing over as well, ulting. Cho'Gath taking down Salsa. And looks like Chewy is going to get grabbed there by Amumu, taking quite a bit of damage though. Lee Sin coming up from behind, getting the Janna, and all of them converging now on top of Lee Sin. Lee Sin is able to war jump over that wall. Claykey coming in from behind with a leap and taking out the Tristana, but all of them are just so low at this point. Cruiser actually did get taken out on that last bit with one of those Cho'Gath Vorpal spikes. So right now, Sona actually quite a bit in the front. She does not have her ult at this point. It was used quite a bit earlier. But there it is. Dandin, Udyr, Ashinshin, and Dr. Waltz as Cho'Gath making it out of that fight alone. Cruiser and Salsi, the only ones to go down from the purple team. That was a very good gank, I will say, setting up for that Salsi kill. Salsi was able to sort of almost get out of that, but the Amumu and Cho'Gath flash over the wall, both ults onto Salsi, was just a ton of damage. So right now at this point, Udyr has the Madreds, he has Wit's End. Looks like he's going for the Madred's Blood Razor. Actually a very good choice, considering the high health from both Cruiser and from Claykey. That's just a ton of damage, as well as a lot of magic damage. But it looks like there it is, Claykey and Salsi taking out the dragon at this point, just sort of taking every little advantage they could possibly have. Right now it's still that 4,000 gold lead, just a little bit more, but it is still that 4,000 gold lead from purple team. And both teams right now just kind of setting themselves up. Purple team looks like he's going to be setting up for Baron at this point. Shinshin is still going top, just trying to back these super minions off as much as possible. He's going to back out from that river, as there is that possible gank setting up for him. But it looks like he's going to go in towards the river. Sona setting up some wards, and it looks like purple team is really setting up for a Baron right now. Blue team sort of waiting for it. They know it's going to happen. They sort of want to catch it off, let purple team start it, and sort of catch the team on their dime. Right now, there are no wards in the Baron pit. Shinshin walking forward. It looks like Chewy is able to W out of this. Dandin actually catching Cruiser the Bruiser with that bandage toss, but Cruiser is able to flash out, keep himself alive. Rupture going down right in the middle of everyone, kind of missing the whole group. Claykey taking quite a bit of damage from that Amumu. Looks like he is able to get back out with that stealth. Now, 2 members from red team or purple team are really low at this point, but everyone sort of on the blue team is pretty healthy and ready to fight for this. They do see that Lee Sin there. A lot of pings going down. They do really want to back out of this. They don't quite want to fight this. No one on purple team is really tanky at this point. Lee Sin has a few tank items, but no one is really sort of really beefy. Unlike that Cho'Gath, the Amumu, and the Udyr, all 3 with a lot of health and quite a few resistances at this point. Cho'Gath coming out with 9 kills right now. Salsi has 9 kills as well. They almost have the same score except for the 1 death. Looks like Dandin catching off Sona. Sona flashing away, but there's the ult from Dandin. Will he get this one? A nice Sona will drop in the both, but there it is. The bandage toss from Dan actually might be able to pick up this Sona kill, and exhaust coming down on Dan, and there it is. The bandage toss again. Dan actually picking up the kill on that Sona. All the while, Cho'Gath being taken down by Kha'Zix. Salsa and Chu8 just making work happen right here in this team fight. Tristana jumps into it. Lee Sin takes out Janna, and then Tristana right behind her. Holy cow, this team fight is just, there's just so many jumps and so much mobility happening from everyone. The constant movement back and forth is just huge, and all that pressure it's keeping up on top of them. Super Minions working away at that, at the inhibitor on top lane. The Shinchin is really low right now. Cruiser's just taking down that mid turret. He does have that Guardian Angel, he does have that Guardian Angel, so he can be pretty safe, just sort of setting this one up. They did take out that mid turret. Is he going to be able to take out the inhibitor? Shinchin coming at him. Cruiser might be able to make it out alive. He didn't land that Q onto Udyr. Popping into it, Udyr does that turtle mode, keep himself alive just a little bit longer. Shirley is popping out from Amumu. There's that turtle mode on Udyr, giving that shield. Cruiser actually might get taken down here. There's that GA. Is he going to be able to make it out alive with this one? It doesn't look good for him, and there it is. Janna picking up the kill. A nice silence there from Cho'Gath, keeping him from hopping away towards anything that might have been close enough. That was really, really huge, though, by Lee Sin. He really put a lot of pressure on towards that mid lane. But it looks like top turret and Hib and middle lane and Hib, they're both open and free, but they are alive. So Salsa putting quite a bit of pressure here on mid. Shunpoing out, just sort of taking it safe. It is a 5v4 right now with Cruiser dead at this point. Sona here setting up for that blue buff, as they do want to deny as much as possible. That's quite a bit of a gap right now. 5.4 thousand gold ahead for purple team. 31 kills on the purple side and 23 on the blue team. Looks they're headed up right now. A nice Sona hopping over the wall. Salsa jumping in, doing a ton of damage to Udyr. Clicky picking off at Janna right now. Shinchin might make it out alive, and there it is. The leap from Kha'Zix able to take out Shinchin. This is just looking really, really huge for the purple team. It's quite a close game when you really look at it. Everyone is really, really able to sort of do work on it. And blue side does have quite a bit more tanks. Sona getting caught out. She does still have her Oracle, so this is pretty bad as well. But there it is. Tristana taking out Sona. A nice ult from Amumu. Cho'Gath doing work as well. It looks like they're going to have to make it back out of this. Cho'Gath flashing for a kill. A nice rupture lands on Clanky D, but the kick from Cruiser keeps him alive just a little bit longer. It looks like blue team right now is going to force a Baron. Both of the minions, now that there are no super minions in lane, both of them are able to be pushed quite a bit, so they are pretty safe. Ward coming down from Tristana, sort of keeping eyes on this Baron. Looks like both of them just sort of looking for it. Cruiser setting himself up for a Q kick on it. Now, if he can actually land the Q, he might be able to do a little bit more damage than the smite. And there it comes right behind it, dropping into it. Cho'Gath ulting the Baron, taking it for himself. And it looks like Claky D and Lee Sin taking a ton of damage, ending up losing that trade. And that actually puts blue really, really in a good spot. Right now, the gold advantage has just been lowered from that 5,000 all the way down to a little over just 1,000 gold. But this is just huge right now for blue team. They are able to get themselves back into the game. All that movement and mobility is actually kind of working against them at this point. They get separated way too easily. And blue team's coordination in these team fights are just doing huge. Right now, Corky poking down at that Cho'Gath, but with all that health from the Rod of Ages and the armor from that Glacial Shroud, he's able to just withstand this. Udyr right now zoning their other team as much as he possibly can, but he does take quite a bit of damage from Chu8. Shirley is coming in. They do want to sort of follow this one out as Claky and Cruiser are still alive. A nice rupture landing on top of Salsa. He is able to shun Paul out and then flash back. Shinchin taking a ton of damage, but a nice ult there from Amumu catches all of them off guard. Salsa gets stunned, takes a ton of damage, gets that ult from Cho'Gath, but it looks like Udyr wasn't able to make it out alive. Claky and Soda picking up that kill from behind. Cruiser and Chu8 just doing so much damage. that combo is just massively huge right now. 2-8 able to kill off that Janna. The Guardian Angel for Amumu was blown, and then he was picked up as well. So right now they need to be just rushing these inhibitors, as they don't really have to worry too much about the minions. The super minion is the one they got to look out for. They're just going to clear it real quickly and head towards the inhibitor. There it is. They're going to do some damage to the super minion, get it sort of weakened up, but they need to take down these inhibitors, sort of even the things out. It looks like Purple Team is ahead, and they are ahead by quite a bit. But this game is not over yet. Looks like one turret has been taken down. The second turret for the Nexus is on the way. A flash in from Kasin, just sort of showing that one off. And everyone from Blue Team is actually still dead. The death timers are so long at this point. It looks like Purple Team is going to finish it out. And a victory from the purple side. Just awesome, 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 awesome game. The mobility from Purple Team was just absolutely huge. With that Salsi Shun Po, the Chu-8 Valkyrie, getting him around the battlefield. Cruiser just having both his W and his Q to sort of get in and out of fights. And Klakey having that Kha'Zix leap, that just legendary, awesome leap that resets on kill, was just huge. It was imperative for their team at this point. All of them were sort of going for huge damage and just a little bit of survivability with lifesteal and Guardian Angel and such. But Blue side had just so much tankiness. It was really, really hard for Purple to take them down. They had to really make sure that the team fights went exactly like they wanted. Otherwise, they really couldn't take down the Amumu and Cho'Gath and Udyr. It's just so tanky. But at the end of the day, Blue Team didn't quite have enough AP. Now, Amumu does a lot of ability power damage, and Cho'Gath does a lot of ability power damage as well. But there's none of that real burst besides their ults, so they have to really wait for team fights for them to sort of take it out. But it looks like Purple Team was just able to clench that victory and do it fantastically well. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate the views and the happenings. Click the like button if you liked the game, if you liked my casting. Click the dislike if you didn't, and let me know some comments in the section below. Thanks again for tuning in. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is In Sigma Theory. I'll see you next time.